And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I just ended the theme song way too early. The only podcast for the website. Podcast for the website, cplusconnie.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Usually I say the premier podcast. Isn't that correct? Here we are, episode 243. Hey, listen, before we get started, we've got another interview coming up with Subhah Argwal. This comedian can be found doing her thing at a new stand-up special album, called Dog Show. She's got her. If you're looking at the video, you're not looking at the video. Hold on. No one can see what I'm seeing, not even the video viewers. There's the Dog Show. She's squatting with the dog. Dog's next to her. Big sign, Dog Show. Her name's on top, Subhah Argwal. And dogs panting and stuff on top on the album cover. That's the word I was looking for. Album cover, 243, Constitutionals podcast. Subhah is a very funny comedian, very young, very young. That's a weird way to describe it. It's like a very young comedian. Very funny young comedian. She's got talking about, the typical things that young women comedians talk about, but she puts her own spin on it. She's I enjoyed her. She's very energetic, very active. We had a very lovely chat, and the album Dog Show will be out October 7th. You can buy it pretty much anywhere. You know Subhah from Arsenio Live on Netflix, the Jim Jeffries Show on Comedy Central. She also did Plan B, the movie on Hulu, Comedy Knockout on True TV. She did her late night debut with A Little Late with Lily Singh, which is a show that, true or false, I may have written a packet for. Did. And we see where that show ended up when it did not hire me. I was looking at the packet that I wrote just this week. This is about Subhah. Never. She's been doing comedy for about 15 years. She did it when she was in high school, like a young Pete Davidson. She's been she goes between Los Angeles and New York. She's great. I think she's truly just a very nice spirited person to talk to. Her Instagram is popping. She's engaged or married, one of those. She has a podcast. Let me double check what that podcast is called. I was just looking at it. Followed by Ron Funches. We share the same follower. Yeah, there's a web series that just launched, Downward Mango, and here's the podcast. I found it. Family Gems. It is by the Anchor Network. Also, one more true or false. True or false. The Anchor app on my iPad would not update, which means I could not have the music I needed. It is loaded on a computer, but it will not play from the computer because I can't do that because I'm stupid. Anyway, Family Gems is also available wherever you get podcasts, and you can find Subhah on Instagram at SUBHAHA. Yeah, that's good. But on Twitter, it's SUBHAH. And I assume Facebook will just be her name. Anyway, Dog Show. Here's the interview between me and Subhah Argwal. Wait. You could enjoy. And we're back to the show. Oh man, I haven't done this in a long time. But sometimes that's what you gotta do. If you're still here, and I don't know why you would have stayed, we're gonna do the rest of the show. 243. What have I been doing with my time not doing things? Not doing this show. Hold on, I'm submitting my timesheet for work. That's a very true thing I just did. I have a reminder every Friday at 4:00 to do the timesheet, and sometimes I remember, sometimes I do not. Nova's birthday, the cat. Nova is my cat for listeners. Her birthday was this past Tuesday, September 27th. She was born in captivity, so that's the reason why we know it. And I thought it was the week prior, but it was not. Anyway, I had this idea to make a video for her that she obviously can't understand, but for me to get clout on Instagram. and it was a video of her. It was not her. Excuse me. This video was a cameo. Was cameo. was a couple of cameos. One from Garfield. One from wait, who was it? It's Garfield, Snagglepuss, and Sylvester the cat. In fact, if you are watching the video, I will throw this up. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, there's that, and then I take that off. Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I just turned off the zoom for some reason. All right, so I will do it for you. You'll see the other episodes that I have not done yet, but it's very funny. There's Garfield. If you're watching the video, you can't hear the sound because I have decided not to air that. And then you can see there's Sylvester, and then there's Snagglepuss. And I put reviews down at the bottom because that's what the cameos are. And I tagged Cameo, and I tagged Looney Tunes and them, and they did not respond. Sometimes I just wish these things would go the way I want. Yeah, I wanted the clout. I got a lot of nice responses and a lot of nice people saying, "Oh, you have a cat." 243, Subhah Argwal. What else is going on? Oh, I bought a Sony Vita. Now, if you don't know, this is a defunct successor to the PlayStation Portable, and it is the last Sony portable machine, portable device. And you know what? In fact, I think it might be the last one for good. But it is a touchscreen device, a dual-sided touchscreen. It's got a front touchscreen and a back touchscreen, which I'll probably never use. But I bought it, and then I said, you know what? I thought I have a list. I have a list on my Notion account, and I promise we'll get to the episode. I have a list on my Notion account that is truly just video games. There's video games I want to collect and buy. I don't want to collect video games. There's video games I just want to have in my life again, like Simpsons Hit and Run. If I could go back in time and tell myself not to trade that into GameStop and get whatever, like $10 or whatever it was, oh my god! Because that game, used is like $80. Same thing for Mario Kart. Also, Mario Kart Double Dash. I have Mario Kart Ultimate on Switch. The thing is, I want Double Dash, and this woman on Nextdoor put it up for $80, and I go, all right, let me see if I can talk her down to 65 or whatever. She doesn't respond. And then, like, the next week I go, all right, well, is this still available? I didn't say I was going to pay the $80, but I was like, it's still available. Does not respond. So I was just like, what do you want from me? And then she has another GameCube game up there and like some other stuff. And they all say like one interested, people sending a message. But if you're not gonna respond, then don't have it up. Anyway, it's ridiculous. I would rather spend $100 on Mario Kart Double Dash than try to talk to some jerk who doesn't want to even respond to me. Maybe she's racist. She's stupid for selling it for $80. Anyway, and so I cracked the Vita open, and excuse me, I didn't even say that yet. Yes, I jailbroke the Vita. I was gonna buy a bunch of Vita games, and there's no good way to add money to the. I don't advocate stealing. I do not advocate stealing video games or movies or anything. If it's a defunct system, if they're not giving you a way to video game preservation, essentially, that's why there's a lot of collectors. That's why there's people that jailbreak their Wii's or jailbreak their GameCubes, or not GameCubes. I don't jailbreak GameCubes, but they run emulators and stuff. So I'm running emulators, and if they gave me a good way to buy, if I wanted to buy, Jack and Daxter collection, which I already own on PS5. But if I wanted to buy it on Vita, the only way to do it would be to buy a physical copy, which would be like $60, or to buy the digital copy, which would be like $20. And so I got the original impetus was for me to just get a micro SD card, and there's a way for you to jailbreak it so you can get to use a micro SD card on the system, because there's a proprietary software. And also, let me tell you, when I bought this Vita, I bought it from a guy who was moving out of my house. I went to the house to go pick it up. House was just filthy. I got the Vita home. I wiped it down. I wiped down the 3 games he gave, and they were all like anime games, with women with girls with giant breasts. Like those anime games. I looked up how much those games are worth. He should not have given that to me. I paid $50, and those games are worth at least 100 each. That's not a joke. He really should not have sold that to me. Anyway, but the system itself is so filthy. It's so disgusting. There's like gunk in the charge port. There's crap right here that I have to take a cotton swab and like it's still greasy from him. And I've had this for like 3 weeks. Anyway, I bought a SD card reader thing for the Vita. You put it inside of the game card slot right here, and it's 128 gigs. I don't want to go for 256 because I know what games I wanted. I wrote down the list of. That's why I got the Notion list. And just to end the stupid conversation. To end the stupid anecdote. I did jailbreak it. There's at least 20 games, all Vita games or PSP games that would have been full price, like probably $300 to buy. But if you're not gonna move those over to the PlayStation Store, if you're not gonna make it easy because you have to put money into the PlayStation Store just to buy it, you can't use your credit card. Then there's just no point for me. But I got all the Ratchet and Clank games on here now, and I got Sly Cooper games. I got the God of War games. It's great. It's fun. It's everything is the portable version, not the full stuff. But it's great to have just like a things like this. And I've toyed around with. I used to do emulators for my phone. That's the reason why. That's like a huge reason why I have Android is because I want to be able to download an emulator and play Pokemon on my phone to go. And then I realized that burns the battery like crazy. So I have not done that in years, but that's the first time I've jailbroken anything since. And for Android, you don't have to jailbreak anything. All you have to do is download an emulator, download the ROM, you're good to go. So, but that's the first time I've jailbroken anything for a long time. I think I did that to something. I think my iPod Touch. I don't remember. Anyway, one day I will buy a new Nintendo 3DS. The big one, and then the one with the second nub, and I will maybe do the same to that. But there's only like 4 other DS games that I want for that, so I'd probably just buy those. Anywho, there's that. That's my anecdote for the time being. Anything else? No. Let's get going. Okay, Spotify's doing audiobooks. This comes from New York Times, written by Alexandra Alter and Elizabeth A. Harris. Spotify makes a bet on audiobooks. They've got 300,000 books right now on a paper book model. It's not like Audible. You have to buy the audio. Well, I mean Audible, even then you still buy the audiobook, but you're going to pay full price for these books and you're only going to be able to listen to them on Spotify. I don't like gatekeeping things behind paywalls and everything. And you don't have to have a Spotify, you don't have to have Spotify Premium in order to listen to audiobooks, but in order to buy them, $30 and then you have to listen to it on Spotify. So there's that. Audiobooks, huge. It's a huge industry. It's about 1.67. I had to clear my throat there. $1.67 billion in 2021, which was an increase from 25% from 2020. And God, it feels like I'm about to sneeze. And 74,000 audiobooks were released last year compared to in 2011, 7,200. So 74,000, 7,200. That's crazy. That's huge. Audiobooks, obviously, big market. But what is Spotify's? Spotify is trying its best to be the one-stop shop for audio listenership. However, people find that app very convoluted. I saw a post today on The Verge earlier that, in fact, I'm not going to link to it, but I will mention it. It's right here. First thing up. Written by Russell Brandum. Brandum, not Brandon. Brandum. Brandum name. I'm sorry, that was very mean. I hate it when people. One time I wrote. This is like part of the reason why I stopped writing reviews. Also because it just made me hate whatever I was watching, even if I loved it. I wrote a review for American Housewife, the first episode. Pilots are hard, so that's another reason why I stopped. And also they just became recaps. Anyway, you have to be a really good writer in order to not make it seem like a recap. And I think I'm a good writer, but not that good. Not for that. Anyway, I wrote a review for American Housewife, and I tagged all of the actors in it. And then Diedrich Bader on Twitter You know Dietrich Bader's on Veep. He's Batman sometimes. He wrote back, "It's a really good show. I just hope people stay tuned and watch." And he like responded to that tweet, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And then there's all these responses, and one of the responses said, "More like D plus comedy, right?" So I'm not gonna make fun of anyone's name. Sorry, Brandon. Jeez. Russell Brandon. Sorry, I like that was not a joke. Anyway, Spotify keeps making it harder for me to listen to music. And Russell's correct. It is just the most. It's a feature rich app, but it is so uncompelling to listen to anything on there, especially if you're a free listener. They make it so difficult to listen to anything or to find anything. They keep pushing premium on you, but even when you're premium and you have all that stuff, you have audiobooks, you got podcasts, which they want to do a big push on. It's I just want the music. That's why, Apple has Apple Music and Apple Podcasts, and then they have books. Yes, I know it's 3 different apps, but they work. I mean, still, the Apple Music app is very convoluted. None of these apps are good to look at. I think YouTube Music is too plain, Spotify is too busy, and Apple Music, there's too much configuration between all of it. Speaking of Apple Music, let's go on to Alex Weprin over at the Hollywood Reporter. They're hosting the Apple. They're now the owners of the halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show. TM, that is a thing that's happening. This is a great buy for them. Starting in February 2023 at the next Super Bowl series, Apple Music is going to be the partner. Apple Music is going to be throwing it along, and Rihanna is going to be there. Let me tell you how I found out. I woke up one morning. I went to the gym. It was 4 o'clock. I went to the gym. I do go to the gym at 4. I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to the gym. And I open Apple Music because that's what I have right now. I have a 6-month subscription for $1 from Best Buy. It was a good buy. It was the best buy. Excuse me while I'm going to go jump off a roof. Anyway, I open up the app and it just says Rihanna's, or no, sorry, you're home of the Super Bowl halftime show or whatever. They had like a bunch of playlists ready to go, and I blew it off. I went, oh, okay. I mean, I guess it is football season. I just blew it off, and then like 3 hours later, they put out a press release, and I went, oh, that's why. Okay, all right. So there you go. That's the story. Halftime shows are great. I mean, that's the only thing that is probably watched more than the Super Bowl itself. This is I mean, a fantastic leverage for Apple. Like, this is, nothing could have gone better for them in sports at this point in time. Nothing could have gone better. Like, I mean, they and like this is great for them. They have their foot in football. They have the streaming rights to baseball games, to Friday Night Baseball. And Sunday, do they have Sunday? No, Sunday's ABC is ESPN ABC. So I think I don't know. I'm going to double check right now by going on to the Apple TV app. But maybe they even have soccer as well. This is bad for me to look at. They do have soccer, but it is also hooked up to my ESPN Plus. They do have soccer, though. I'm looking to see if any of this says ESPN Plus next to it. Nope, that's ESPN Plus. Do they have soccer? Okay, they have baseball. Oh God, okay. I don't know if they have soccer or not. I could just Google it. That's the easiest thing. I want to be ignorant, but I can't right now. Apple Music, soccer. Let's see. Soccer on Apple Music. Excuse me, Apple TV. You all heard what I said. Yes. Apple and MLS to present all MLS matches for 10 years. Around the world for 10 years, beginning in 2023. So Apple is quickly going to be a big part of sports for minimum 10 years. Next year, I expect them to have way more baseball games. And then this is also a good stepping stone for them because it's rumored that they're in the running to purchase NFL Sunday Ticket away from DirecTV, which anybody should do that, please, God, please. But that is good. I mean, The one thing I have to say about that is the only way that they could offer NFL Sunday Ticket to everybody is if they base same price for Apple TV, which is $5, which I think will go up regardless. But same price for Apple TV, but they include that as an add-on, the Sunday Ticket, as the $120 add-on, whatever it is. Or they give it to everybody, but raise the price of Apple TV to $7 or $8. Because think of it this way: Apple Music is $10, and they give us lossless, and the closest thing to listening without a separate deck as possible. And we see Disney Plus raising its prices by several dollars. Either the bundle, the bundles are going up, or the separate services are going up. Netflix has risen its prices multiple times. So it's only a matter of time before Apple TV has to raise its price from that entry fee of $5, which is a great price. Set it and forget it. And it's got a lot of good shows on there. Movies, not so much. It's very true. Movies suck. But speaking of sports, we're going to move on to The Athletic. I got to utilize this $28 per month New York Times subscription. Got to read The Athletic too. Written by Mike Vorkunov. Sounds Russian. NBA launching new app for all of its content, including League Pass. This is a sports-heavy episode. Sports. Go sports. Garfunkel on notes. NBA's got a new app, newly designed app that came out on Android and iOS, probably just iOS, and knowing how people freaking develop. The NBA app, this new version took 2.5 years to design, and it's going to be a lot more reminiscent of how social media apps look. Like how, I'm not going to say TikTok, because TikTok wasn't as popular as it was 2 years ago. But it's going to be closer to TikTok and Instagram. You can still buy the League Pass for this season, which is going to be 50% off for $100. And that's how you're going to watch all the games. Now, I don't understand if this is going to be available on set-top boxes like Android TV or Apple TV or Fire TV. So those are the three big ones. No one's using Xiaomi TV. Well, China's watching you with Xiaomi. That's they're watching what you watch, and then they'll market towards you or whatever. There's also going to have original production. They're also going to have original productions, behind the scenes documentaries one behind the scenes documentary about the last year's Warriors, how they won. 1,200 hours of on-demand stuff to watch, and just other. They're gonna have bets. You're gonna be able to track your bets and stuff, and I'm sure that's gonna be healthy. But you can't place bets in the app. You can track your bet. You can't place bets, which is well. The NBA app will also allow users to connect to limited live action, but it will allow them to access games with their League Pass subscription. And it will have different streams of games, like a betting stream or a strategy stream. Oh, I can't wait to see a betting or a strategy stream. More importantly, the games will be shown with less latency and in better quality. Last season, the latency was roughly 45 seconds to a minute behind. The latency speed this season could be on par with traditional broadcasts. Sports really trying to go mobile. We're trying to break out from the traditional model of television. I see a lot of on Instagram in particular, and I assume TikTok as well. I see a lot of breakouts from whatever team or whatever sport was happening the night before. So it's football. That Monday morning, I will see just a house of highlights. I will see Bleacher Report, ESPN. Everybody's cutting down minute-long video, putting them up, and saying little funny little phrases. Oh, man's lost his shoe. Or he went out there and yeeted that ball. You see how uncomfortable I am? I don't know what any of that means. But sports are coming in a way now that they don't have to be tied to traditional broadcast or even just cable. There's a way that streaming and social media can help it. That only those things can. All right, let's continue. Blonde is out on Netflix. I do want to watch it. I love Anna de Armas. Oh my God. We would make such beautiful children. Just. And I will watch it at one point. So here we go. Apparently. No, it's none of my business. I don't care what people think about the movie. I don't need to read that. I'm scrolling away. Also, Scooter Braun says he regrets the way that the Taylor Swift catalog acquisition was handled. Go talk to Taylor, my guy. I say that as a Swiftite. This next one comes from Cynthia Littleton from Variety. Mainstream Hollywood damages its profit potential by largely ignoring Latinx stories and audiences study. I also want to comment on this other one, bring these both up at the same time. Malala, if you remember, Malala Yousaf is the teenage, now young adult woman, a Muslim woman who stands up for women and people of color. She's great. This comes from Variety, also written by Minori Ravindran and E.J. Penaligan. Malala calls out Hollywood, Muslim actors only make up 1% of popular TV series leads. Okay. So barring shows like Rami and barring shows like One Day at a Time, there's not a lot of stories from these sectors of brown people, from Latinos and from Muslims and with the last couple of years of it being Black Lives Matter and then Stop Asian Hate, there obviously is going to be sectors of people who are left out. I'm not saying those, some incel white dude who's like, they're not making shows about white people. I mean, Don't Worry, Darling is a movie full about white people. It's funny how, and I'm gonna dance right past this because I really don't like Olivia Wilde that much. But it's funny how she, she comments on like Chris Pine's character was based off of this incel, speaker guy or whatever, and then and her movie is like only starring white people. It just doesn't make sense. Like all her movies, the movies that she makes only star white people, which is it's interesting to me. Like she doesn't even have like featured people of color in this movie. Whatever. Anyway. So this is that's what I'm getting at. We're lacking these stories for brown people, and now more in particular these the stories with Latino people as well as stories with Muslim people. Rami is out there. Rami and now Mo on Netflix, which is also created by Rami. Those are like we just have a handful of shows between either of these, and there's in a couple of years the Latin, I don't want to say Latinx because I don't like Latinx. Latinos are going to be I don't want to say dominant, but like a majority of the country, and population wise, the Latino population is just growing. It's just booming. There needs to be representation on screen for these people that don't get this much of a chance, And what's more, at present. Oh, and this is the nonprofit who did this study, Latino Donor Collaborative. They released the study on Tuesday that talks about how little progress Latinx talent has made in TV shows and movies for the past 5 years. At present, Latinx communities make up about 19% of the U.S. in 2020. That's going to grow considerably, obviously, and it's gonna be great. I love it. I can't wait. Get these incel white dudes out of here, getting mad because there's black elves in Lord of the Rings. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Only 3.1% of TV series featured a Latinx lead or co-lead character, and of those, only 1.3% were what the report describes as positive portrayals. there are which are non-stereotypical roles, which is stuff I'm talking about when I say we need to get shows starring black people that aren't I want to say like my mom watches stuff. She has my Netflix login, and she'll only watch things that are like he betrayed me, or I make this joke to her all the time, or like she'll watch something on BET Plus like the lives we lived, and it's just all this stuff that is just so stereotypical. Like why can't there be shows? And then to that extent, even on FX, Atlanta's got to be a show that has to talk about race all the time, which is like the reason I stopped watching it. I want to see shows starring brown people that don't have these stereotypical characters in them all the time, or stereotypical titles or roles or anything. Like looking at this Latinx representation in the film and TV, they had to be the stereotypical roles include like drug dealers and prostitutes and housekeepers and nannies or maids. Why is it that always has to be that? And then finally when there's a chance for something to be made, it has to be stuck in those stereotypical roles. Like, oh, this is going to be a show built for we're going to be talking about the hate and everything, but we don't have to do that. We don't have to. There's already obviously other stuff doing it, other shows and movies doing it. Why can't we not? Just saying. In 2019, U.S. Latinos accounted for 23% of all moviegoers and purchased 29%, $2.9 billion, of all box office tickets sold for English language films. August, representation in films released through August of this year stood about 5.2% of lead characters and 2.6% of directors. That includes people like Guillermo del Toro, who I also have a problem with. He's Mexican director. His last couple of movies, and I know this is true because I just looked it up on Wikipedia, because I was looking up the trailer for his new show on Netflix, and then I was like, well, he hasn't done anything with brown people. The last time he had a brown any actors of color, let's just say that, in a movie was Pacific Rim, and that was 2013. He's done like 4 or 5 movies since then, and like a couple of TV shows. It's just ridiculous to me how like he has fallen into this this well of, I'm going to use white actors. And the same thing for Bros. I want to see Bros. I love Judd Apatow. I think Nick Stoller's a great director, and I think Billy Eichner's a very funny guy. My problem is all the trailers up until the stuff that I saw maybe in August were pointing to this is a rom-com. Yeah, it's about gay people. This is a rom-com about gay people. There's no brown people in it. And it's just, I was talking to somebody this morning who is of the LGBTQ variety, and who was a black male in the LGBTQ variety, and we both agreed, like, it just sucks that there's no brown people in the movie. Now he's gonna go see it because he's gay. He's got to support those homosexuals. But I mean, it just sucks that this has to be this way. It doesn't have to be, but this has to be this way. But going over to the Malala story, she said that quote, I learned that Asian people like me make up less than 4% of leads in Hollywood films. Muslims are 25% of the population, but only 1% of characters in popular TV series. I mean, isn't that just horrific? Like if there were, let's go back to these incel white people, white dudes. I'm gonna say white people. If they just very laugh. If there were movies like Moonlight, if every race had a movie like Moonlight, or you know what, let's just say this, if every Marvel Disney movie that came out only had brown people in it, they would be pissed. They'd be like, well, Spider-Man is supposed to be white, Peter Parker's supposed to be white, Iron Man's supposed to be like, wouldn't that piss them off? I mean, look at I was about to curse. Look at Ariel Ariel, they're mad at Ariel. They're mad at the elves in Lord of the Rings. They're mad at I mean, is anyone mad at Bridgerton? How dare those black princes touch the supple white bodies of those white princesses? Continuing on, Malala says, I know that the executives have passed on dozens of quality, equally amazing projects because they thought the characters or the creators were too young, too brown, too foreign, too poor. Sometimes it feels like they're saying we just don't belong here. And it's true. It's kind of like a catch-22 in this industry. People they say they want the diversity. It's just, I'm going to keep referring back to Frances McDormand at the Oscars a couple years ago. People stand for inclusion rider, and then no one acts on it. That's why I only watch shows and movies with brown people. I don't only watch shows and movies, but I'm saying I only watch there's stuff that I want to watch. They've got to be like White Lotus. I'm never gonna watch that show. I don't want to see white people talking about their lives or complain. Same thing with Hacks. Hacks sucks. I hate Hacks. I do not like that show. It's a bad show. It is not. If I don't like something, I just go, I'm not a fan. I actively dislike Hacks. But we have to start propping people up. And it stinks that we're at this level where that they're not. Speaking of TV, let's go on. This is written by James Poniwazik and Margaret Lyons. This is something I wanted to do last week, or the last show, but I could not. And running out of time this time. New York Times, fall TV is dead, but buzz will always be with us. Two television critics ponder what fall TV even means in the streaming area and discuss the series they're most looking forward to this season. It is so strange right now to want to watch television. If you can truly just get all the streaming services, like one person who's on the mic does. You can get all the streaming services, and you can have every single TV show, save for some stuff that's on basic cable. I mean, on basic cable. Save, for Yellowstone. You can pretty much watch everything by just getting streaming services. TV shows premiere all the time. Netflix is dropping a new show every Tuesday and Friday. New shows every Tuesday and Friday, or new shows and movies. Disney Plus is dropping new shows every Wednesday and Thursday. Peacock, I don't know, at some point. HBO Max, I don't know, whenever they can. I work there. I can't comment. I can't comment on what's happening. But things are dropping all the time. And now even cable is getting into it, where they'll put out over the summer. I don't think FX went a week without being dry, without being wet. See, worse. That was worse. And Fox Broadcasting has been wanting to do when The Simpsons and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers and The Great North go off for their hiatuses. The Fox Broadcasting has always been ready for the past couple of years to do a Monday night animation nomination during the summer. I wish they canceled Duncanville for, which is a great show, and they're bringing back Housebroken next year. And it was held off from this year, which is so strange to me. Anyway, fall TV used to be that time where we get these new, from May, things would be done, and then September, late September, early October, everything would start up again. It was new, Sometimes The Simpsons and SNL would be pushed to mid-October, and they'd have to start with the Halloween episodes, but things started up. But now we're getting shows, House of Dragon, Lord of the Rings. Everything came before, as James Poniwazik said, before Labor Day. Or he wrote. The rhythm is off, but now we have to work around it. And now we're getting reboots, and now we're getting sometimes new IP, sometimes new IP. And then Margaret suggested we really lose fall TV. But now, I mean, it's ramping up. Over the summer, we did get a lot of stuff to drop, but it's still kind of ramping up even more so now because we have the advent. We have broadcast, we have cable, we have streaming. We got new podcasts. Doughboys have a new podcast on Spotify. I was listening last night live. It's cool to do it live. I like that. And we still have fall TV. We still have things premiering on broadcasts that are huge hits. We still have Abbott Elementary. We're still gonna have. I just watched Home Economics. So You Think You Can Dance? All that stuff. Although I think that's Disney Plus. Ghosts came on last night. New Survivor. I'm not gonna comment on New Survivor. Because I have a lot of crushes on that show. I'm an adult. I said the word crushes. Oh, Justine. So, all right. So in the end, where does that leave us with this world of fall TV? Do we still have those traditional models of fall TV? Of the winter break that usually happens. You know what? I think those are still there. The same way I think that the traditional model of television of one episode a week, is better than binge watching everything. That feeling is still there. Fall TV will never leave because we will still have the big grander broadcast and cable shows that. Truthfully, as good as big as Stranger Things is, that still does not hit the same dopamine receptors as The Amazing Race or as Survivor. Now, streaming is its own juggernaut, and I mean, and bottom line is it's still the same as broadcast and cable, but especially if you grew up with TV, I think that still elicits a feeling of, oh, I can't wait for SNL to start. Oh, I can't wait for The Simpsons to be back. Oh, did you see the new Family Guy? Also, if you're an adult and you're going, did you see the new Family Guy? Like American Dad is still on. American Dad is going to be at like 19 or 20 seasons. That's crazy. The only show that's still on TBS. So, fingers crossed. If anything, they should move that over to Adult Swim. And if they do, I believe it'll be canceled. But I love American Dad. Please keep it on. Please keep it on. Oh, please keep it on. It's so good. I work there. I'll tell them. But fall TV is still there. Winter hiatus is still there. Summer stuff is still there. And I mean, it's just like a blockbusters. Like I'm gonna choose Top Gun. Top Gun can only do the numbers it did at the box office. If it was available at home, I don't think as many people would have seen it. It could, and then also having Tom Cruise leverage, keeping it out of homes for as long as possible. True, like it has not hit DVD until like November or something, which sucks. But I mean, now it should be on DVD. Like it's been out. It was in theaters in May. It should be on DVD now. I should be able to go out, get the 4K Blu-ray, and I should be able to see it 3 more times in my home. Every year there's a movie like that. La La Land, In the Heights, Top Gun. 2 of those movies are basically the same. I just want to watch Maverick again. And I'm not stupid. I'm not like, I'm going to join the Navy after the fact. No. I'm just enjoying it because it's a movie. But that movie did something that Gray Man can't. Gray Man can be popular on Netflix. It can be popular for a week, maybe even 2. But nothing holds true like a blockbuster in the theater. Or even a really good indie movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or even an indie movie, Smile. That movie is going to be talked about, or has been talked about for the past, 2 weeks. It's going to be talked about. It's coming out today. It's going to be talked about for the next 2 weeks. versus Gray Man comes out, boom, everybody watches it 1 week. Maybe the residual people watch it the next week. It took me 2 months to watch that movie. And even then, it took me 2 days to get through it. Mostly because I fell asleep the first time. Not because it was boring, but because I'm tired all the time. That's where that lands. Streaming TV. Fall TV might be dead, but the event of fall TV might be dead, but the feeling is still there. That's all I'm saying. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see interviews with your favorite comedians and whatnot. If you want to see a video version of this show, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. See me sitting here in all my glory. In a shirt that I was supposed to interview another comedian in. But it was pushed back to next week. I've said this before, and I'm kind of getting my, I wanted, when I started the website, and then I was offered a couple of interviews with comedians. I was not good for, I don't know how long, for a few of them, for like a good handful of them, a good chunk. And then there was one who may or may not be the person I'm talking to next week. There was one where I went, okay, this is how I got to do it. This is how it's supposed to be, for me at least. And then I always thought, as the years went on, I thought, man, if I could just get a redo on those people. And here I am, I'm getting a redo on some people. And some people I'm even being able to talk to for the first time versus it was an email the first time. I'm talking to them over the phone or over video for the first time. I only do video now. I don't do over the phone. No more over the phone. We're in a world where it's video or bust. Also because I'm big enough to ask for video. I'm never going back to audio only. Although there's one interview that I did that is not released. That will not be released. There's only happened twice. I know I'm supposed to end the show. But there's only happened twice where there's an interview where it just wasn't good, and I've held on to the raw footage or the raw audio, and it's just not good. Anyway, but now I'm getting a chance to re-talk to some people. I'm excited because I like this comedian that I'm supposed to talk to. I was supposed to talk to today, but next week we're gonna do this thing. So be on the lookout for that, the next episode, most likely. Or they might, they're big enough to have their own breakout episode, so that'll probably be it. Any Hoosers, youtube.com/cpluscomedy, see a video version of the show. News time is also there. It's like the Daily Show, except worse. Speaking of the Daily Show, Trevor Noah's leaving. So soon. Anyway, I'm going to end this show for this episode. See me next week. That is the corrections on YouTube. Seth Meyers. Yeah. IYK. If you know, you know. Yeah. IYK. I'm cool. I'm hip. Yeet. Twitter, Instagram, @CPlusComedy. Me on Twitter and Instagram @ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Rate, review, subscribe to the show. Wherever you get your podcasts. Especially on Apple Podcasts. Please rate, review, subscribe it over there. Who gives? I don't care. Whatever. Who gives a crap? Okay, that's it. That's the end of the episode. Tell your friends I love you. Goodbye.